So my mother only found me useful because she was sick and needed help. She brought me back to take care of her with love when she refused to show me love. Machi saw this as an opportunity to take revenge upon her mother, who had abandoned her. Machi subjected Oge, her mother, to the same mistreatment and once upon a time, in a village named Urafia, there lived a woman named Oge. Oge was a young woman who had just given birth out of wedlock to a beautiful baby girl named Machi. However, instead of feeling the overwhelming love and joy that most mothers felt upon meeting their newborns, Oge felt a deep sense of resentment towards her daughter, Machi. In the eyes of the conservative community, this was a grave sin, one that brought shame upon her family. Any girl that gives birth out of wedlock was considered irresponsible and cheap. Oge has tried so much to convince Inyinaya, who had gotten her pregnant, to marry her, but he refused, saying the child was not his. From the moment Machi came into the world, Oge, her mother, couldn't bear to look at her without feeling regret and resentment. Oge tried so hard to raise Machi on her own, but the pain and shame was too much to bear, as anywhere she goes, the villagers would laugh at her and call her bad names. Oge handed Machi, at just 4 months old, to her mother and left. It was Oge's mother that took care of Machi up to the age of 5, until a mysterious illness struck her and she died. Oge, on hearing the news that her mother was dead, was not happy about the news because she do not know what to do with Machi, her daughter, as she has sworn never to take Machi to live in the same house with her. Oge, not willing to raise Machi herself, made the difficult decision to send her to live with her elder sister, Chioma. Not minding that Machi was just 5 years old and needed motherly care, Oge would only visit Machi, her daughter, once in months. Machi grew up in the shadow of her mother's shame, enduring the coldness of her auntie's heart and the cruelty of her auntie's children. They would always make her to do all the house chores alone, calling her cruel names and saying she was a child that brought pain to her mother. Machi endured all this alone and lived like someone who had no mother. Whenever her mother Oge comes to visit once in a while as usual, Machi wouldn't even bother to come and welcome her mother. She would whisper beneath her breath, saying, "She has come as usual to visit, not caring to know if I am going through hell here or not." This continued for years. Machi then blossomed into a young girl. She longed for the love and acceptance of her mother Oge, as she was already tired of living with her auntie and also tired of hearing people call her names. The next time when Oge had come to visit her daughter Machi, Machi pleaded with her mother Oge to take her back, to acknowledge her as her daughter and welcome her into her home. But Oge refused because of the fear and shame of what people would say about her. Machi kept on living with her mother's sister Chioma, hoping and praying for the day her mother will finally accept her and take her away from there, because she was no longer comfortable living with them. Years passed and Oge fell ill. She was so sick that she could not do anything for herself and needed help. With no one else to turn to, she reluctantly brought Machi back to take care of her, as she needed help urgently. Machi returned with bitterness and resentment filled in her heart. She said to herself, So my mother only found me useful because she was sick and needed help. She brought me back to take care of her with love when she refused to show me love. Machi saw this as an opportunity to take revenge upon her mother, who had abandoned her. Machi subjected Oge, her mother, to the same mistreatment and neglect she had endured at the hands of her auntie and children. She reveled in the power she held over her mother. She would neglect her and refuse to give her food sometimes. Oge was in so much pain but could not speak. She felt so ashamed of herself because she had caused why her daughter was maltreating her. The room where Oge stayed was all messed up with her feces. Machi barely cleans her up or changes her clothes. One day, Oge called Machi, and with tears in her eyes, she pleaded forgiveness, but Machi ignored her and left the room. One fateful day, as Machi made her way to the market, she encountered an old woman on the side of the road. The old woman called her, but Machi brought out money to give to the old woman, thinking she was going to ask for money. But the old woman, with gentle words and a smile, pleaded with Machi to forgive her mother, to release herself from the chains of bitterness and resentment that bound her. Machi was shocked on how the old woman knows about her mother, because no one knows that Machi was Oge's daughter, because she left the village to her auntie's house when she was still little. Machi was scared and quickly left the old woman. But Machi did not know that the old woman was her grandmother, who had taken care of her when she was little before she passed away. Her ghost has approached her to plead with her to forgive Oge. She came to plead with Machi to let go of the past and live in peace with her daughter Oge, who was sick. Machi returned back home. She sat down on a chair outside the hut, and in that moment, something shifted within her. She realized that holding on to her anger only brought her more pain, while forgiveness offered freedom and healing. With tears rolling down her eyes, her heart lighter than it had been in years, she went to her mother's room. When she entered, she saw her mother lying in bed, weak and vulnerable. Without a word, Machi knelt before her mother, taking her hands in hers. All the pain and resentment melted away, replaced by a profound sense of love and compassion. Oge looked into her daughter's eyes. With tears in her eyes, she pleaded with her daughter to forgive her, that she made a very big mistake by neglecting and hating her. In that moment, Oge and Machi were reunited, and their bond became stronger than ever. Machi then cleaned up her mother and tidied up her room. Oge had the chance to witness Machi's transformation. She saw the kindness and love her daughter was capable of, and she regretted her past actions. Oge's health improved, and they began to live together in peace and finally experiencing the bond they had missed for so long. The lesson of this story teaches us that forgiveness isn't just about letting go of the past. It's about understanding compassion, and it's ultimately love. And sometimes it takes a whole lifetime to truly comprehend that. No matter what someone has done to you, you should find a place in your heart to let go and forgive them. Thanks for watching. Please remember to like, comment and subscribe. Thanks for stopping by. Bye.